All right, so sorry guys. We had to get off the initial stream. We had like audio issues, so we are back. All right, so okay, first of all, let me share the new link and then we'll continue with our conversation.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right.
We'll continue with our conversation.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Cool, cool, cool.
Oh, let's okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. So I think we were where were we? Okay, so we're talking about you
Who
mentioned that
should start the yes, the
children
counseling?
involved in the counseling as well.
Yes,
So I
yes.
was asking, so who takes priority? So do the
Okay.
couples take priority? Do they start first before they now bring in, the rest of the family into the counseling?
Okay. So I think that the partners, first of all, need to start therapy and counseling because they're the ones, you know, spearheading this family, right?
Yeah.
I think also in therapy and counseling, you will even get to know whether you should be together at all
Mm,
because there are certain values and views and beliefs that we have that don't align. But sometimes that feeling love covers our eye to certain things that we close our eyes to all the red flags, the things that we should say no to, we say yes to, hoping that we can change the person in marriage. And I think that counseling and therapy will first of all bring that to the forefront. Off the back of that, if you guys scale that and you see that, okay, we're happy, both of you have also done therapy on yourselves, because I don't just think that you should do it together. I think you need, even when I do counseling with couples, I do maybe if I do 10 sessions with them, I only do 2 or 3 together. Every other one is separate because there's some things that you're not going to feel comfortable and trust
discuss.
that your partner can hold, right? And so what also happens is that when partners are together, they're always at each other's necks. They're talking about how the other person is the bastard, whilst they never take responsibility for anything. It's the truth. I mean, the bastard is extreme, but we're always, guilt is harder than blame. So because blame is easier, it's easy to blame someone else. And then we've grown up blaming the devil for all the nonsense that we've done because we never used to take responsibility for the things that we did. It's not just going to happen in marriage, my dear. We're still going to blame the devil and then blame the other person as well because it's easier to do that. So all of this starts to happen, in counseling. Once you
Right.
go to the part where both of you have agreed that, okay, we've worked on each other, we're happy to, we've talked about finances. I mean, those are deeper conversations.
Right.
You then bring the children into it. Now that you know that you are sure that you guys are going to go ahead with this marriage, the children then come in. If your exes are alive, I believe that your exes also should come into this situation as well.
Really?
Sorry, are you still around?
Really?
Sorry, sorry. Somebody just walked inside here, but let me keep talking.
I see.
Okay, I love you. Okay, all right. Bye. I just
Really?
got an August visitor.
Oh, I see.
No, but they didn't know I was doing something. They just walked in and blew me kisses. So I was blowing kisses to them back. Okay, so sorry, apologies everyone. Yeah. So what then happens is you bring the kids in. If the exes are still alive, I think that the exes also, if they agree,
Okay.
if they agree, I think that they should be part of this as well. Because what it does is that it puts us all on a good pedestal. Now, they might be difficult, they might be angry that the breakup happened, all of those would happen as well. But if they're open to healing, once again, I go back to your willingness to make this work.
Right.
If you have a willingness to make this work, I think you should give everything it takes to make sure that it does work. That's the way I look at it. And so even if, yes, the exes agree to be part of it, I think the exes also should come in at some point so that everybody just understands that this is what we're doing now. Let's agree on some of our limits. Let's agree on some of our, on how we're, especially because children are involved and children are going to be living with, so let's just have a more rounded situation. Now, this doesn't happen all the time. So if the exes, of course, are still fighting you and not, there's not much you can do, but what you can do with yourself is solidify the relationship that you and your new partner have with the children in it. When the children are not with you and they're with their other bio parent, then, there's not much you can do about that. But when they're with you, they understand that this is how we are rolling in this, our own nation. Let me call it that. Because I think a family is a small nation.
Of course, of course. Okay, so you said include the exes if possible, if they
Yeah.
agree. Well, it makes
Yeah.
sense. We're
Yes.
coaches, so what you're saying makes absolute sense. It will just make life easier for everybody. But
Everyone.
have you seen it happen before? And what's the success rate?
So I've seen it in one situation,
Okay,
right? They both knew that they couldn't be together. So the
okay,
separation and the divorce was on mutual agreement. When you just know, sometimes we know, but we're afraid of all the things that come with it.
yeah,
And so the fear of this, what will people say? All those things add up. But these people, the two of them actually told themselves the truth that, look, I got you as a human being, but you
right,
see, this marriage thing is not working for both of us. And rather than you being unhappy and me being unhappy, and then the children also being unhappy, let's go our separate ways. That one was very easy. That one was easier because the woman is like, and they told themselves the truth. One thing we don't like to do is tell ourselves the truth. There's
right,
some people who are listening to us right now that know that this relationship that they're in, they should be out of it. But because of all the things that come with it, what would people say? Where would I start from? How would I start? What if I don't have money? All those things have stopped us from doing some of the things that we know deep down we should be doing. So that also happens. And sometimes the bitterness comes because the other person moved on faster than you did, right? So it's different things, right? But I've seen it happen, honestly. And I was so inspired by it. I've watched a couple consciously uncouple, right? And they threw a divorce party to say, look, where we don't hate each other, we're going to co-parent these children from a place of love. Where our business, in fact, they had a business together, and they still have a business. In fact, two couples that I know, they still have businesses that they run together because they created the businesses together, but they're separate. The man is on his own, the woman is on her own, and the children are living in one situation. The children are living with the man. In the other situation, the children are living with the woman, and they're living well because they told themselves the truth.
mm,
So sometimes, if you're honest with yourself, you know that this is not working, and you can get up and go. But for those who refuse to, see eye to eye because they're bitter, they're angry, I don't think it's the marriage that made them bitter or angry. I think the marriage just triggered something that already existed in them. And rather than sitting down and understanding why it triggered them that much, they decided to take it out on the other person.
wow, I see. Okay, so how do you think you can sell the idea of bringing in the exes into the counseling in case there's one ex that is rigid or not interested, doesn't see any reason why she should be a part of that meeting? How can you sell that idea to that person?
I think maybe the children can to their mother
Okay.
at some point. I mean, unless the person is so unreasonable. And I dare say that there are people who are unreasonable. And there are also people who are in pain. And you cannot tell
Yeah.
somebody who is in pain how to handle their pain.
Sure.
And you must understand that. So if they're rigid and unwilling, leave them alone. But
Okay.
if and there might be times when they're their heart and their ears are open. Sometimes it could just be that the children say, ah, mommy, guess what? We did XYZ today and it was fun. And this, and then the woman thinks about it maybe in her quiet time, and maybe the pain is no longer as much, and she's open to listening. Because I don't think that everybody is so guarded 100%. I think there are times where you let your guard down, and at those times, maybe you can penetrate and start to sow seeds. The fact that you sowed a seed today doesn't mean that it's going to germinate. In fact, the Chinese bamboo, you sow a seed today, the first time you see anything out of that seed is 5 years from the time you sow the seed.
Yeah.
So keep doing it. Keep doing it in love. Yes, keep doing it in love. Keep saying, oh, what about this? What about that? Mommy, I think that, and by the time different people are saying it from, and if you also have people who are reasonable around you, and you have people who truly love you, they will suggest some of these things, because now therapy and counseling is getting a little bit more popular, especially here in this side of town. And people are saying, I think you need therapy. In fact, my husband, for the first time some days ago, talked about trauma. And me and my daughter looked at ourselves like, really? Your dad just mentioned trauma? Because my husband never believed in therapy, right? And so now he's talking about trauma. And I'm like, okay, it's working. So subtly, don't force anybody. Don't lord it on anybody. Don't throw it on anybody, but lovingly share it. And hopefully, time also does something. We don't just give credit to time as much as we should be giving credit to time. Time also does its own healing work, right? And its own space in allowing things to happen. So I think those are ways that we can sow it. But just keep sowing the seed. One day it will germinate. Because love
Oh,
never fails.
oh yeah. All right. No one can go wrong with sowing seeds of love, really.
No.
Yeah. And as you said, now it's making some sense to me when you said it takes about maybe 7 years to truly
Yes.
stabilize the family. I think
Yes.
time is one of the factors that would
Yes.
make it that long. That
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because some
Mm-hmm.
people are still managing their pain, trying to heal from that pain, and it takes time. So if you allow them time, you just give them the grace, to deal with the pain and then heal
Mm-hmm.
from the pain. And
Mm-hmm.
as they're growing and healing from the pain, it takes time. So I think I can agree with the fact that it might take time for a blended family to be stabilized. But I'm hoping that nobody takes 5-7 years to stabilize a family. What if you do not attain that stability at the end
It,
of the
it might be longer, my sister.
day?
40 to 50% of second marriages don't work. Don't work because they're not. They also,
Again,
at this
not
point,
entirely. If we go into that, we'll probably not
I know.
end. But 40% of second marriages, only
Yes.
40%.
It might be more. It might be more. But from the last research that I saw,
Right.
it's about that because once again, people are not ready for what they're, and they're also, we have come from so much pain. You're carrying all of that, and you're saying nobody will press my neck again. That's one of the slangs we use here in Nigeria. Nobody will press my neck. Nobody will bully me. I will stand for myself. And so you become almost a terrorist in this new relationship because we no go agree or we no go agree is the mentality that you're coming with. And so nobody agrees for the other, and then they're just like, what, I've done it before, I can do it again, up and out.
Mm. So I think that's a role that therapy would play, and
Yes,
everybody needs therapy. Even when you feel
yes,
like, oh, you're good, you're not dealing with any pain, you're fine, maybe you've forgiven your partner or what have you. It's a lie. When you get into
yes.
therapy, when you realize you have.
Something must show.
Yes, yes. So everybody needs therapy. Even the
Yeah,
children you're bringing into your next marriage, they need therapy
yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
sure they have not even opened up to you about, their pains, their regrets, or what have you. So I
Exactly.
therapy. So I guess for us,
Exactly.
maybe before counseling comes therapy, or do you think counseling should come before therapy?
I kind of think that they're like their brother and sister. So
Yeah.
they can happen, it can happen simultaneously. In my head, the way I work it out, it's just, for me, it's just kind of the same thing. Yes, therapy might be deeper and going through the
Yeah.
past and understanding it, and and then counseling is giving you things to work on the future. So you need both. You need both support, and you need it long term. It's not just before the marriage and after that you don't need counseling again. It's a
Mhm.
long term thing, because this is a new thing that you are getting yourself into. You
Right.
might think that, okay, I've worked on, as a hypnotherapist, there is nobody that has come to me with one ailment or one challenge that it has ever been the challenge after hypnotizing them. Not
Yeah.
one person.
Mhm.
Not one. Because
Mhm.
what it is that we think, oh, this is what the problem is, and we have no clue where that problem started. So, for
True.
example, where the reason why I became a hypnotherapist was because for 40 years of my life, I didn't feel loved by my parents. I was a middle child. Long story, I won't go too deep into it. But when I did my hypnotherapy session, one of my hypnotherapy sessions, I went back into my mother's womb, and my mother wanted me to be a boy. So I came into this world already feeling unloved. No talk therapy would have gotten me to feeling this, not one,
I
because
see.
I tried quite a bit. So one of the things is that you will start to find different things. You will find you'll be triggered by different things. You will be pushed by different, and all those things need an understanding. So you should have somebody in your payroll, to be honest. Just like you go to the hospital and you have doctors and GPs and all of that, and
Right.
you have insurance for your health, you also need to have all those things set for your mental health, because no health can happen without your mental health being in shape. Impossible. So,
True.
and your body is the instrument of your mind. So, if your
Mhm.
mind is sick, invariably your body is going to be sick. And that's why a lot of people are going to the hospital and they have psychosomatic feelings. Nothing is wrong with them, but they are feeling headache today. Chest pain. They have done all the tests and there's nothing wrong with them. Doctors will say, but how many doctors are trained to say, you know what, let's go into your mental capacity and see what's happening, what's going on at home? They don't ask those questions. They just give you more drugs because you need to keep coming back. Sorry for all the doctors who are listening, even if I'm not that sorry.
But I mean, you're speaking the truth. You're speaking the truth. Yeah. I think most often we don't address the root cause of our pain.
Hmm.
We think this is what the issue is, but that's truly not what it is,
Yes, most
something deep
times.
entirely. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I have two more questions for you before we round up this conversation today. So, where do you see couples make the biggest mistakes early in the blending process?
One, and I'll keep saying this, not going for therapy.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
going for therapy. That's
Okay.
one of the biggest mistakes. Not
Yeah.
including, not having certain conversations on your philosophies, your finances, your who's going to discipline the child, as little as that. Who's going to, because the way we see discipline is different. For me, discipline is discipleship. In a lot of Africans' mind, discipline is kin and koboko. Is
Mhm.
two different things. Who's going to do that? How are you going to handle the ex partners? What are the boundaries for the kids? What are the household routines? Where are we going to have our holidays? Little things like that. What are our emotional triggers?
They
What
are
is
not
our
little.
long term vision?
They
Ma?
are not, you said little things like they are not little. Everything you've just mentioned are not little.
I know.
They are
I
not little
know.
at all.
I
Yeah.
know they're not.
Now that you're
They're
talking
the
about
things
them
that will
as
mess up.
these are not
Yeah.
little. Yeah,
Then I know. I know.
yeah. These are conversations that need to be had. Yeah. They are conversations that need to be heard. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, because at the end of the day, the whole idea is to have a functioning family. and a
Mm-hmm.
family that actually really does blend, because blending is sweet. I mean, when you put in all your vegetables and throw in your fruits and add a little bit of honey and put in some ice, and you have this nice, robust taste in your mouth. That's how a blended family is meant to be. We're not asking for equality, or we're asking for everybody having their place and their space, right? Understanding that your emotions matter. You can open your mouth and speak, just like you have it in a normal family. And I call that, and you know what I mean, the difference between normal and having a blended family, because there's so many things that need to be spoken about, that we need to do before, because there's certain, I've met so many people, and I don't only work with blended families. I mean, I work with other people as well. And I'm also a trauma healer. And I've realized that we're carrying so many things that we
Yeah.
can't even process for ourselves, my dear. Like, you can't even, like, I couldn't, if you had asked me 5 years ago why I felt unloved, I would never have been able to tell you.
Mm.
But I carried that feeling, and I was looking for love in all the wrong places and looking for people to validate me, because I couldn't do that to myself. Now, in that kind of situation, there's no way you can succeed in a blended family with all those inadequacies and insecurities. It's
Because
impossible. It's impossible. So now imagine you're carrying it, your husband is carrying it, your
carrying it.
children are carrying it. I mean, it's not meant to work.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not meant to work. Meanwhile, we go to school for 7 years to be lawyers. Some of us went to school 9 years to be doctors. And we don't go to any school to be a husband or a wife. We don't go to any school that certify us okay to be parents. And some of us have no business being married. Some of us have no business being parents. And you have done it the first time, you have done it the second time, you have done it the third time, and you're saying, no, is that person that has the problem, without actually shining the light on your own face
Yeah.
and saying, maybe I'm the constant in all of this. Maybe I'm the one with the challenge. So there's a lot that we need to look at to be able to function properly as a human being, whether you are in a blended family or not.
Or not. Yeah. Well, you have said it right. So, how can couples keep their partnership strong without making the children feel displaced?
So if so, I'm going to assume that we're coming from counseling and therapy.
Okay.
I'm going to answer that conversation from your question from there,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that everybody should go slow.
Okay.
Let's not expect bonding immediately. I think I say smooth is fast. So let's go slow, right? I think that we need to be very patient with bonding. There needs to be a lot of ease, and there needs to be a lot of grace. There needs
Yeah.
to be a lot of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be a lot of that. There needs to, the couples need to prioritize their relationship. Because if their relationship is solid, which then means that the children know that you can't go and meet daddy and tell daddy something and mommy will say something different. Because a lot of times the children take advantage of the break that they
Of course.
see. At least my bonus kids used to do that. Even my child used to do that. She would say, mommy, but you don't need daddy to say yes for you to say yes. And I'm like, I do, honey. She said, but daddy is not at home. Daddy is not at home. So you will not, and children they'll take their chance.
My
And
dear,
if they
they're
see
very
that,
intelligent.
yes, and they can see that there's a break. I remember my bonus son did something years ago. He asked me for something, I can't remember what it was. I think he wanted to do something, and I said, I don't think you should do it because your health is not top notch for you to be able to do it. Then he went to meet his dad, and he asked his dad if he could do it. And his dad, just off the top of his mind, said, okay, you can do it. And so I called the dad. I said he couldn't do it because XYZ. And my husband said, "Oh, I didn't think about it that way. And maybe I should." So my son knew that there was a break. And so when I asked him, "But you knew," I said, "Why did you?" He said, "Because I knew that daddy would say yes." Yeah.
Look at
And
that.
that's age appropriateness, right? Before I would have thought, "Oh my goodness, it's because I'm not his mother." That's why I don't have time for that nonsense anymore. Yes, I'm not his mother, so I've dealt with it. And I moved on from it, right? But I can be the best that I can be as a mother to him
Yes.
without the pressure of carrying all of that. So they will see it. So the husband and wife, your relationship is the most paramount and the most important. And once the kids see that daddy and mom are on the same page, it will be hard for them to take advantage or to mess with that relationship. There also has to be some clear boundaries that are set for yourselves and for the other people, the exes, your friends, your families, and all of that come inside. And you've got to normalize therapy and consistent therapy and support, because support is great. Who doesn't? God created, for the first 6 days that God created, when He ended it, He said it was good, correct?
Yes.
The only time God said it is not good was when He created man. And
Mm-hmm.
He said it is not good for man to be alone.
Yeah.
And so He created a helpmeet,
Mm-hmm.
a support system.
Right.
So if God Himself knew, and God never said, He always said, "Let us, let
Right.
us." So even God didn't do it by Himself. He had support from angels and all the people, all the beings, celestial beings around Him. So getting support is a godly behavior,
Right. It's not, we
right?
need to start normalizing it.
Yes, it's a godly behavior. So what if one person says no? There are 8 billion people in the world. What are the odds that 8 billion people will say no to you? There are
Mm.
no odds. But you'd have tried only 2 people. You say everybody that I talk to says no. You only ask 2 people. There's still 7.8 or 7.998 billion people that you
Right.
can ask. So we've got to normalize support. We've got to normalize help. Ignorance is bad, but I think something that is worse than ignorance is an illusion of knowledge.
Mhm.
An illusion of knowledge will take you straight into the dustbin and nobody will pull you back. But at least if you're ignorant, you can say to people, "I don't know. Please help me." And
Mhm.
everybody that has asked for help that I know on earth, even God says, "Ask and you shall receive," has received help.
Yeah. Wow, Adeola. Okay, so the last but not the least. So for anyone in a blended family struggling right now, struggling to blend the family, what would your advice be? I know you've spoken about therapy, counseling, and everything, but what would you say to them? I am already in this marriage. I didn't know I had to go for counseling, before finding myself here, but now I am
Are you
here.
there?
Help. Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Ooh,
Can you hear me? Adiola, can you hear me? Uh-oh. It looks like I lost
is
you.
this me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. So you just came back.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay.
So I,
So I
I
was
didn't
saying
hear
that,
what you said.
yes. So I was saying that for anyone in a blended family already, but struggling in that family, what would you
Mm,
recommend that they do? What would you suggest they do to get help? Adela, can you
okay.
hear?
So I think the first
And
is
just,
now. Can you
can
hear
you hear
me?
me? I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. I can hear you. You know what? Maybe I should send you a message. I can hear you
Oh,
loud and
can you hear
clear.
me? You can hear me now.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
Loud
all
and
right. I can hear you too. So I think
okay.
I think the first thing we must understand is that blending a family isn't about perfection, it's about presence.
I love
But
it.
you cannot give presence if you are not present within yourself, right? I think that we need to be patient with ourselves and throwing a bout of compassion and throwing a bout of love um and celebrating every milestone. One of the things that we don't know how to do very well is to just allow, surrender and allow things take shape, right? We want this home, we're in this microwave era. We want it now, 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 now. But
Fast.
yeah, and it's impossible, right? So there'll be days where people are hot, there'll be days where people are cold. So if we throw in a lot of grace and a lot of ease and a lot of patience into it, and understanding that everybody's coming with their own stories, then if you can give yourself grace, you will do it to the other. One of the things that I battled with a lot was the chatter in my head, asking every time if I did something, oh, if he was my child, would I have done it that way? Did I smile enough? Did I jump enough? Did I sit enough? Did I lie enough? Did I, that constant chatter in my head, that if for example, if I smacked my child, then I didn't have to ask myself if I was wicked enough. But if I did it to my stepkids, I would question myself for days, right? And that takes away the peace from you to be able to do anything. It takes away your ability, and because you are so critical on yourself, it takes away the ability to be graceful to other people and have empathy to others. And that's why I keep going back to the support that I got, because without that support, I will not be the woman that I am today.
Today.
Without that support, I wouldn't have started an organization. I'm actually the only person in Nigeria and in Africa, I dare say, that is speaking to blended families.
Wow.
My own was a complete blue ocean. When I started it, everybody was like, ha. And I mean, everybody around me. Okay, I lie. One person, praise for what I remember when I told him, he
Yeah.
said to me, go for it. He just said to me, go for it. He said, but there's so many things that are going to come at you. And I said to him, I said, I'm ready for it.
Hmm.
Because most times people talk about their marriages only when they're out of it. They don't talk about it whilst they're in it. I was going to be talking about mine. So I had to learn the art of leaving everybody with their dignity intact and sharing my own story. I remember my husband was like, why do you have to share your story? I said, because I'm asking others to do theirs.
Right.
So if I ask them to do it, I also must be able to throw in some skin. But I throw in skin from my point of view.
Hmm.
If I didn't get all the help, and still, because I still have therapy sessions that I do till today, I still have people that I work with that help me understand things with a bird's eye view. I still have coaches and mentors and spiritual healers. I still have all those things happening in my life because, as they say, every new level, there's a new devil. Well, the new devil is like, if it's your thoughts, is all those things that come with it. And also all the learnings that come with it and the stretching that comes with it that we don't like, but we like the results. So help for me got me to where I am, and help for all the people and all the families that have supported. And once again, I don't only work with blended families, but all the blended families that I've supported have found succor. Sometimes it's just the wife that I'm working with or the husband that I'm working with. Sometimes it's not both, but I tell people that there's a power in one.
Of
The
course.
most important thing is that you decide that you want to transform your life. And what then starts to happen invariably is that everybody around you starts to tap into that transformation, because you have started seeing things differently. Things become different.
Hmm. Okay. All right, Adeola, thank you so much. So I'm going to bring you back because we didn't even cover how
I
far.
know.
So I am going to bring you back, and I think we're going to focus more on the children, the children
Okay.
in the blended family. So we're going to
Okay.
begin. As you said, you are the only person at least that you know, in
Yes.
Africa or in
Yes.
Nigeria, that is a blended family expert.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
something that, we need to have more coaches out there. We need to put out the information out there so that people are not struggling in their marriages. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same way if first marriage is important, is the same way a second marriage, a third marriage is very important. And if people
Absolutely.
not empowered with the right knowledge, right information, they will make the same mistake that they made with the first, with the next. So I think this is a conversation that
In
needs.
fact, your next will suffer for your ex, actually.
Absolutely, no doubt. So people need knowledge. They need knowledge. And I really appreciate your time. So if our viewers want to reach out to you, how can they find you on social
I'm,
media?
I'm on Instagram, Adeola Kingsley-James. Facebook, same thing. LinkedIn, same thing. You can find me on all the, and I have my website is also www.omgglobalconsulting.com. But just shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. You can find me in all those beautiful places. I have a
Okay,
YouTube channel as well. I probably have uploaded about 700 videos. Go and binge on my videos, guys. Yes. It's same name, Adeola Kingsley James on YouTube as well. Please go and watch my videos as well. They will really help. Not
great.
all of them are on blended families, but you'll find quite a lot of them on blended families.
Okay. All right.
And
So
I have
thank
two books as well. I've written two books for stepmothers. I have
you.
one called Step Out Stepmom and the other one called Dear Stepmom. And I've created a 3 months course for mothers and fathers as well in blended families. So I'm doing quite a bit in that space. And I'm about to write a book. We've done the preamble with a stepfather friend of mine who it was. So we're calling the book The Growing Pains of Blended Families.
Wow, brilliant, Adiola. You're doing a lot. We see your work, and thank you so much for all that you do. And I pray
Thank
that
you,
God
ma'am.
will continue to give you the grace, will continue to give you the wisdom, to even grow bigger and better in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for your time.
Amen.
Really value it. And thank you for all the insights, all the everything, all the orishirishi, all the knowledge that I just got today. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you. And to all our viewers who joined, thank you so much for your time. We hope you learned something as I did. I've learned a lot today. And until we come your way next time, keep learning, keep growing, and bye for now. Bye, Adela.